So just a little warning, I know lots of us like our topicals and our exfoliating mitts. Just to be honest, Korean Italy cloths have completely changed the game. For me, I do not use them as often anymore because I learned that when I overwork my skin, I can accidentally give myself hyperpigmentation. Usually this is when your skin is already kind of sensitive, so maybe you just got done doing a chemical peel, or you're using one of those like a brightening lightening cream, but mixed, so you're using multiple different ingredients all at once. If you are exfoliating with something that will take off like a layer of skin, like a Korean Italy cloth, though it is good to use, you should definitely be careful about using it like every day. And be careful about using like what products you're using in the shower, because I know a lot of us are like using multiple different products, and don't be surprised if you overwork the skin and you give yourself a dark spot. Now this dark spot was just more of, it popped up after I had done a body peel. So I waited and I did my body peel. It took about 17 days for everything to peel off. It felt like it took forever, and I was pretty excited about getting back to my normal routine. My normal routine was usually exfoliation and then using some type of cream that either had lactic acid or like a kojic acid, a bearberry extract, you know, some type of combination of lightening agents. So I did not wait long enough and I went back to exfoliating when I basically should not have. Now this is something that even, you know, after the chemical peel time period, which usually it's about 2 weeks, your skin is, I guess, at its most sensitive. So really, it's pretty dumb to even exfoliate during that period. So like, this was me just being dumb. Now, whether or not I will ever get this spot to lighten up, I'm not sure. I might have to use some targeted topicals just on that area alone. But I just wanted to show you guys, like, you know, some of the dangers. I definitely have, you know, done some dumb things to my skin that have, you know, left me with marks that it's been months and months and months and it still hasn't gone anywhere. Like, it hasn't changed. So definitely be careful about overworking your skin. If you are going to get a high powered, so by high powered I mean high percentage lightening lotion or lightening serum, especially if it's like 25 or above, 20 or above, with some of these you'll notice that it's best to use it maybe every other day. Also keep in mind, what are you doing in the shower? Because you're probably still using like a lightening bar soap or like a lightening scrub, and it's just really easy to just kind of not keep track of like all of the different topicals that we're using, because it just becomes a part of our everyday routine. So if you are going to do something that is going to weaken the skin, like a chemical peel, which the whole job of the chemical peel is to break down the skin, have it peel off, and to lighten the skin underneath. So it's working through multiple layers of skin. If you're going to do something like that, then make sure that you're taking it easy. Even after all of the skin has already peeled off, make sure you're not overworking that skin. It's pretty cool now that I'm about a week in with the Chamomile spray. Make sure that I made most of the resurfacing it's doing on my skin, like the brightening. It hasn't been as aggressive as a peel, but I can definitely tell the areas that it's, I don't know, it's I would say mostly the chamomile, I can't think of I think it's flavonoids that are in the chamomile tea, that basically that's what does all the lightening. But basically it's like turned over my cells, so like the cell turnover rate when using that is ridiculous because it's happening and I can't even see it. So that's how I know it's like it's working on like a cellular level. Whenever I'm doing like a chemical peel, I can definitely see the skin. It's, you know, drying up, it's getting, you know, tight, and then, you know, slowly but surely it's just kind of like sloughing off. That's a lovely word to use for your skin. But with the chamomile, I am being pretty aggressive with how often I'm spraying it on. Sometimes I spray it on like 3 times a day. It's best to take your clothes off so you can get every little area I had tanned a little bit on my lower back, so I noticed that versus my stomach to my lower back, I make sure that like I'm spraying it all on there. Thankfully having it in a spray bottle. The spray bottle I got was just from Walmart, and so it's one of those larger bottles. I definitely highly recommend getting one of the larger bottles. Like I had a smaller spray bottle that I repurposed. It was just empty from some company that I had some type of tonic in, and that if you're using it for all over your body, that's something going to be too small. So when you're making up your chamomile blend, definitely do it in like a bowl, like a large bowl. Put your flowers, I have the loose leaf chamomile flowers, and then add your lavender, and then just let that steep for just like forget about it like get nice and dark, and then put it in one of those larger spray bottles. I make sure that I always use it in the morning right when I wake up. I use it before I go to bed, and then sometimes throughout the day I will use it again. So it just depends on like what I'm doing that day and when I get around to it. So far, the one that I kept in the fridge, obviously, you know, it smells great and it's doing wonderful, but the one that I did not put in the fridge, it's still doing just as fine. So I think when I had added a little bit of the witch hazel, the lightning toner from the Naturally Me by Karen, when I added that, I definitely do think it helped as a preservative. But I will recommend to you guys, when you're making your batch, use distilled water, because that will help its shelf life. Though it's looking to be like 7 days to 10 days of using this mist. I'm about to have to make my next batch of it, so it lasts pretty long for how often I'm using it. So that's really exciting. So there's going to be some things that are going to basically resurface your skin on a gentler level, but if you are using something that is high percentage or doing something that is very, you know, vigorous in the way that it's taking off your skin, like a chemical peel, just be careful about when you go back to your normal routine, because you know your skin is weakened and you can actually cause some hyperpigmentation that might take quite a while to even fade or go away, and you definitely don't want to do that. The same thing when like you get around your inner thighs and your groin. Be careful about how like rough you're being with your Korean Italy cloth. Sometimes just being unnecessarily rough with it can actually cause the area to darken, so you have to be really careful. It's kind of the same thing with the underarms. So there are different products to use that will, you know, resurface your skin without you actually having to be so aggressive on it if you are that type of person who does get hyperpigmentation very easily. So if you guys have any questions on this, just let me know. Also, if you've already done some damage to your skin, then you probably already understand, you know, what it was that you did wrong. I'm not saying not to use Korean Italy cloths, because like they're amazing. And I'm not saying not to use chemical peels. It's just there is like a small amount of risk when you are using those things, and so you should definitely be careful with when you're using it and how often you are using them, because everyone's skin's different. So some people can take way more than others, and then others you can kind of like, hopefully not permanently, but you can, you know, mark up yourself.